Hi, I'm Brian Dilt. I'm a recruiter. For the last 17 years I've been working in the recruiting industry. As a recruiter, I've started at the bottom of a recession and I worked my way out of that recession, went into another recession, survived that, and we're in the middle of another recession. And you know what? I think we're at about the same place in this recession as the one in which I started the business, which means that we're recovering now. I hear the doom and gloom naysayers on all of the networks, on all of the blogs, talking about how horrible the economy is. Let me tell you how horrible the economy is. I know personally, I place people for a living, and I'm making a good living placing people in jobs. I work in the IT, the computer field. I work in the accounting field, banking, and sales. The sales in particular in the high technology industries, whether it's biomedical manufacturing or computers, hardware or software. I place people in all of those industries and all of those areas. What's happened in the last few months is that IT hiring has continued to go up. IT hiring, the computer hiring, is not going down. The reason is that companies know that there's going to be a recovery, and as they watch a recovery come, the last thing they want to be is behind the times. They know that someone's going to get a large amount of market share quickly as the economy expands, and so they're investing in the programmers, they're investing in the computer systems that are necessary for them to make it through the upcoming surge in demand. Now, it may not be a real fast surge, but there will be a surge. As an example of another example of that, Intel just announced that they had the best quarter they've ever had. They sold more chips, made more money on those chips than they ever have. And this is without the fancy accounting tricks, without the EBITDA and whatever they want to call their earnings. They just made a lot of money. And looking forward, it looks like they're going to make a lot more. And the chips they're selling are for computer servers. Servers are the computers that all of the transactions in the United States are run off of. The servers are the computers that run the internet. They're not the PCs that you and I have on our desks. They run all the rest of the stuff. The only reason a company invests in servers is because they see an increased need for computing power, a need to deliver service in the next 8 months to a year or 2 years. And companies are seeing that at a record rate. Intel doing so well is spectacular news for the economy. There are flurries of hiring. Let me give you an example. Right now there's a hiring flurry going on in the biomedical pharmaceutical manufacturing field. Those are the guys who sell stuff to pharmaceutical companies. I don't know why there's a hiring flurry going on. I'm planning on taking advantage of it and placing a few people. But that flurry is going on. There have been flurries in other areas we could go into. Hiring is not dead. It's only dead in one locale or one industry. Other places, there's hiring. Hiring of salespeople, hiring of operations people, hiring of people on the manufacturing plant floor. CEOs are also sitting on a lot of cash. Right now, companies in the United States are sitting on more cash than they were before the recession started. Well over $1 trillion. Which is more money than Obama has in his stimulus package. Those CEOs are sitting on the cash because they didn't know when the recession was going to end. They're a little bit worried about what might happen next. The Wall Street Journal just published an article that says that they're no longer worried, that right now they're expecting things to get much better, very quick. So the Wall Street Journal says that these CEOs are going to spend that money, over $1 trillion of additional stimulus. Now it's not going to all get spent at once. The way the CEOs spend it is they sign long-term contracts and short-term contracts. Some of those long-term contracts are going to be for a year, for 6 months, for 2 years. And none of them are going to spend their cash on a 5-year project. Let me tell you why. It's because if you spend cash on a 5-year project, you're not expecting to pay out of your pocket the money that you have today. You're not expecting to pay that money out in 5 years. What you're expecting to have happen is you invest the money now, and that money will bring you more money. So if you have a 5-year project, you make more money in the second, third, fourth, and fifth year of the project to pay for the additional costs of the project. So that $1 trillion, as it's getting spent, like the Wall Street Journal says is going to happen, while that money is being spent, it's going to have a multiplier effect because these companies are going to cause more economic activity. That economic activity is going to cause more companies to take the cash out of their pockets and put it on the table. And there's going to be a recovery. It may not be super fast, but there's going to be a strong recovery. Speaking of the financial stimulus package of the government, a lot of people seem to think that it was a total failure. Well, I have bad news for you, or good news, depending on what you think. The financial stimulus package has just been hitting strongly for the last 3 or 4 months. It's going to continue hitting through the end of this year and into the beginning of next year. The package was never designed to be a stimulus in 2009. It was designed to be a stimulus, particularly around the election time for midterm elections. So the economy, according to the government planning, should be recovering the most strongly and very noticeably around October, which is coming up, and I think it's going to. Also, we have an economist that we listen to at the TSA, which is not the Transportation Safety Administration. This is our Computer Consulting Business Association. Now, I listen to him not because he's controversial, but because he's usually right. Like 95% of the time, he hits his predictions right on. The guys who appear on TV, they make their money by being controversial, by being able to get people scared or excited, because that's what gets people to watch TV. Well, this guy makes his money by being accurate, not by getting people scared or excited. And he has been dead on accurate for the last 2.5 years, talking about what's going to happen with the economy, how we were going to slip into a recession, when it was going to break into it, how bad things are going to be, when they're going to start getting better. And he says things are getting better. There's no double dip recession. This is just going to smoothly go forward. Now, of course, if there's another 9/11, something may happen. I mean, somebody drops a nuclear bomb on the United States, sorry. There may not be as big a recovery. There may still be a recovery, though. Another thing that's happening is there's an increase in venture capitalist spending. This increase in VC spending is happening all over. If you look at the statistics in San Francisco, where there's a VC association, they're saying that there's more spending going on than there has been for years. Just as a part of that, a local company here in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, Ames True Temper, was just announced that it's being sold to a company that its specialty is creating tools. Ames True Temper is the largest gardening tool creating company in the United States, and they're being sold to a company that specializes in garden tools. Well, the VC firm that owns them bought them 6 or 7 years ago for $380 million. They're selling them for $500 million right now. Not a bad return on investment, but you have to ask yourself, what's going to happen to that $500 million? Well, obviously the VCs are selling Ames True Temper because they want to invest in something that's going to bring even more return. And the company that's buying Ames True Temper, and by the way is financing a whole bunch of that money from the banks, the company that's buying it thinks that it's long-term going to see an increase in sales because the economy is going well. So VCs are investing, CEOs are investing, the financial stimulus package is hitting, Intel is seeing spectacular profits, there's flurries of hiring, and as a recruiter, I see hiring happening. The economy is getting better. I'm looking forward to being with you, working with you through this recession's ending, through the recovery that's happening. I'm Brian Dilts. My company's AGI, or Dilts and Associates. www.dilts.us. Look forward to talking. Bye.